a drifter, moving from town to town, robbing a gas station here, a grocery store there, until one night. She was coming home from choir practice, but she never got there. Stauf took her purse and ran away. Instead, Stauf had run and hide. He sunk even lower. He had nothing, no life, no possessions, no dreams. And that's when the vision came. A doll. And in his dream, Stauf reached out. It was a gift. Stauf carved the doll, whittling the haunting face until it was an exact replica. And when he was done, Stauf went to town, to a bar. The owner had a daughter. He said his girl would love the strange doll. And Stauf offered it to the man. And the owner, in turn, offered Stauf food and a place to stay. A simple transaction. The first of many. Stauf created the puzzle just as he saw it, and everyone wanted one. Stauf opened up a shop because everyone wanted a Stauf toy. Every boy and girl in the town, and from all the neighboring towns. A Stauf toy is a toy for life, people said, and no two were alike. Unique toys. Henry Stauf grew wealthy, but then the strange virus came, and some of the children started dying. Dying, clutching their Stauf toys so close. There was this one last vision, a last dream of a great house, a mansion the wealthy toy maker was to build. A strange house, a house that scared people.
My, isn't this a cheery place?
Edward, I'm not sure we should have been here today.
Why? Because it's a spooky old house? Don't worry, dear. I'll watch out for you.
What? Don't. I expected more of Mr. Stauf.
Lord, it smells awful too. What's Stauf been doing here?
'I remember nothing.
Let's play Dungeon Master 2. Wait a minute, this isn't Dungeon Master 2. What the heck is this? Well, I'm Chaos, and this is The Seventh Guest. Seventh Guest is actually a game developed by Trilobyte and was released in 1993. At the time, it received quite a bit of praise for its unprecedented amount of pre-rendered 3D graphics and its effective use of full-motion video. It was also one of the few games at the time that was solely on a CD, and actually helped to propel the sales of CD-ROM drives back then. Despite all this, I should probably state now that my commentary of this game probably won't be nearly as excessive as Dungeon Master 2's was, just because I don't have nearly as much experience with this game. That's not to say I never played it, but most of my experience came from watching my siblings play when I was growing up, and watching my dad play as well. When it came out, or rather when I got it, when we got it with our Windows 95, I was 8 years old, and this was a rather adult horror game. So yeah, it wasn't something I played actively as a child. However, it is a really good game. I have played probably halfway through the game before. I actually found that I was pretty good at solving some of the puzzles on my own without the use of a walkthrough. Some of these... oh man, some of these puzzles are diabolical, though. And I'll get to that once we get there. But the other thing that I've found with this game is there isn't nearly as many secrets as Dungeon Master 2, so that's the other reason my commentary won't be going on quite as much. But I'll chime in. I'm going to kind of explore. I'll chime in every time we get to a puzzle, kind of break down what we need to do, and then I'll go over the solution, the easiest, how I came to that solution, and yeah, we'll go from there. I don't remember a whole lot of the plot, so I'm going to be pretty much learning it as we go, so I can't really spoil anything for you here. And let's see, if I recall, the first place... oh yeah, and I apologize for any graphical and auditorial glitches or hang-ups. I'm actually running this off of the CD through DOSBox, and sometimes it freezes for a second when it loads. Additionally, just graphically, it's a little glitchy at times when you're turning or looking around. If I remember correctly, the first place we actually want to go is over into the dining room over here. One of the major things with this game is, it's a horror puzzle game. The point of the game is, or to progress through the game, what you need to do is go into each room throughout the house, and there's a puzzle in every single room. Or most rooms. I don't remember if there was one in every single room. And as you solve the puzzles, it will progress the plot, show you more cutscenes and such, and fill you in. There's also some other things that you can kind of find by looking around the room, so I'm going to be kind of spending some time looking around, seeing if I can uncover more plot. But here we go with the first puzzle.
I guess our host wants us to fend for ourselves.
Oh, I've tasted better fare.
At least he left his regrets.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
I don't know.
Oh, it says that we're each to have a piece. Exactly the same, including the symbols. But that's impossible.
Indeed it is, actually. As you'll soon find out as we look at the puzzle. That's not to say that this puzzle is impossible, but the way that she presents it, the way she says it, kind of implies something that is not actually true about this puzzle. All of the pieces do not have to be exactly the same. And, well, first of all, the purpose of the game is there were 6 people sitting around the table. You need to split this cake into 6 pieces. Every piece needs to have 1 icing square, 2 skulls, and 2 tombstones. They do not have to be the same shape, however, despite the way the cutscene says it. And it's pretty much impossible if you try to do it that way. But as long as you can make sure to get the 2 skulls, the 2 stones, and the icing square, you can solve it pretty easily. And actually, yeah, this puzzle is deceptively simple. It seems tricky just looking at it here, but if you actually
2 stones. The rest is just icing.
Yeah, and your character likes to chime in as you work on the puzzle. Gets a little annoying, actually.
Puzzling.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Some cannot be created more equal than others.
Don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Anyway, pretty much, this puzzle is deceptively simple. Looking at it, it seems like it'd be difficult, but if you spend some time just looking it over, and actually if you draw it out on a piece of paper and just kind of split it up, it's actually really easy to figure out. The funny thing that I've actually found about this is that this puzzle is actually kind of mirrored. Like, I just took out this corner, and you can do the exact same on the other side. And as for this corner, reflected on this side here. And as long as you remember that, this puzzle actually becomes really easy. And I'm actually sure there's probably other ways to solve this puzzle too, but this is by far the easiest one to remember. And there we go. That's the first puzzle of the game, the cake puzzle.
There.
Don't worry, I won't bite. Edward, we could help each other out. I could help you, and you could help me. Come and talk in my bedroom upstairs, where it's nice and private.
Get used to that screaming, you're going to be hearing it a lot throughout the game. One thing I've found about this game is it actually is really effective, scary atmosphere in a lot of the rooms, which is surprising considering. I mean, there's nothing really that jumps out at you, but then they do things like this that kind of ruin the scary. I don't know, it's hard to be scary with the jaunty music. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything.
Come to my room, upstairs.
Okay, that's pretty much everything in this room. I think that's just to remind you, in case you forget what you're supposed to be doing, you can just click on there. You can also click down on the bottom here and it'll replay the cutscene that was in this room. So I don't know what's the point of that. Anyway, that is the puzzle in the dining room. That pretty much solves this room for us. We can move back out into the front hall. And one thing I should probably bring up right now is you actually have a map of the house by going into the menu up here. You can check the map, and the map will actually, as you can see, it'll show you. The shaded rooms are the rooms that are accessible right now, and the ones that have the red color to them are rooms that you've already completed the puzzle in. And you can actually click on the stairs here to look at the upstairs as well. As you can see, we can actually access a couple of the rooms upstairs. But yeah, the second puzzle of the game, the closest one, is going to be here in the front room. The front hall. And it's actually, this is probably one of the easiest puzzles in the game. Oh, and every time you look at that, it moves you back to the front door. So don't do that if you're upstairs and trying to move around. I don't even know the point of looking over here. There's nothing here except for making it easier to get to that door. And here is the second puzzle of the game. On the front door, I think. I'm not sure if that... I think that's supposed to be a front door. I really can't tell where the separation is on it, but there it is.
My dear Mr. Dutton, welcome to my house. The arrangement is simple. You are to spend the night as my guest, and in exchange, I will give you your heart's most secret desire. Know what that is, Mr. Dutton, don't you? I require one thing of you, a special service, a task that I've set up for you. There's a guest who hasn't arrived yet. A guest unlike the six of you. A very special guest. Your services involve that guest. You must wonder what that service is. But that is the game, Mr. Dutton. The puzzle I've set for you. This is all I can tell you, Mr. Dutton. In the morning, only one of my guests will walk out of this house with his or her every wish granted.
Yeah. And now you know where the game gets its name. We have to figure out who the seventh guest is. Anyway. Here is the second puzzle, on the front door. Allegedly.
It's easy to find a place to start. It's hard to find a place to finish.
Which doesn't tell you a whole lot, that clue, but pretty much what it is you'll notice by hovering your mouse that each of these 8 points are interactable. And you just select one.
Which way should I go now?
Brings up a spider, then you have to select one of the 2 dots on the connecting line to send that spider to. The point of the game is to fill up all of the dots. The strategy of the game is extremely simple. I'm not even sure how this can really be considered a puzzle, but there it is. So we'll select it, send it down here.
I wonder if you will get the point of this.
Yeah. I'll never get the point of this. I'll get the strategy of it, but I will never get the point. So since we started here and sent it down there, now we go to the other line.
Which way should I go now?
Send it to the one back.
The points of this star are missing something.
Go to the next one.
Which way should I go now?
Send it back. And wash, rinse, repeat until you've completely covered all the stars.
Which way should I go now? There's something missing. This star seems to have lost its sparkle.
It's lost its sparkle, so let's cover it in spiders.
Which way should I go now? Which way should I go now?
Game's done. That was it. That's all there is to it.
Come on. Come on. Come. Please.
I dare say we just got our first glimpse of our 7th guest. Alright. Next room that we could probably head to is the study, because that's on the first floor as well. And that's actually the room we started in. And this is the study. I should probably point out right now, since we're here, the book on the coffee table is actually a hint book for the game. Anytime you get, if you're working on a puzzle and you need like a hint, you can go to the book and it'll give you a hint for that puzzle. It'll give you 2 hints, and the 3rd time you consult the book for that puzzle, it will solve the puzzle for you. So you can continue on in the game and not get stuck on one puzzle. The only problem is it won't give you the cutscene for that puzzle, so you could potentially beat the entire game just by using the hint book, which would take a long time running back and forth to the puzzle and the hint book, but it would solve them, but you would never get any of the plot of the game. So, and I'm going to solve them all for you here, so... Anyway, the next puzzle is the telescope over here. I don't know if that was supposed to be scary or not, but whatever. Yeah, the next puzzle here is the telescope.
You'll need more than lenses to focus your thoughts on this one.
This one can be a little tricky at first, because you're not really sure what it is you're supposed to be doing. I mean, you can kind of make a guess by having the letters and the lines. Pretty much what the point of this puzzle is, you need to make an entire sentence by visiting every single letter once, and you can only follow the lines to move from one letter to the next. The easiest way that I found to solve this puzzle is, besides trial and error, is kind of look at it and see what sort of words you'd actually be able to make. I mean, obviously you have a T and an H, then you got an E here, so you can make the, T-H-I, and S, which could make this. Obviously, nothing's going to be connecting this way, because the only thing that can connect to that T is a Y, and you're really never going to have a Y-T-H in any word. You can see there's an O and an N, so like on. or no. There's no E there, so you can't connect an E to make a 1 or anything. You got POS. Get another S. If you kind of look at the letters that it provides you, you can actually kind of figure it out pretty easy, and that's what I ended up doing, is I just kind of looked over all the letters until I found words. Like, we got POS connected. And then there's a B, an L, an E, which kind of suggests possible, but and then we also got an S and an I over here, which actually allows us to spell that, POSSIBLE. And pretty much just trying
this doesn't make sense, or does it?
It does. And just by fiddling around with it for a while, you can pretty much figure it out.
Perplexing planetary poser. How puzzling. Perhaps a phonemic path can be phrased with a little postulation.
Yeah, thanks for giving me that hint now. And as you can see, it spells out, there is no possible way, which is kind of silly because we just
what
found a possible
crime
way.
of logic would merit such a sentence?
Logic of Henry Stauf, aka no logic whatsoever. If this house is evidence.
Old Man Stauf built a house and filled it with his toys. 6 guests were invited one night. Their screams, the only noise. Blood inside the library. Blood right up the hall, dripping down the attic stairs. Hey, guests, try not to fall. Nobody came out that night. Not one was ever seen. But old man Stauf is waiting there, crazy, sick, and mean.
There you have it. And that's Henry Stauf himself saying that, near as you can tell. And that pretty much solves the puzzle in the study. I have a few more things to say on the study, which I'll get to in their next video. And for now, well, thanks for joining me, and hope you watch the next one.